They say Harrogate is the kind of place you pass once and forget forever, but in 2025, Harrogate started forgetting its own people point one by one, house by house, street by street, and the worst part? Nobody in town acted surprised. Detective Michael Harris had heard strange reports before, but nothing like what landed on his desk that cold February morning. 11 disappearances in less than a year, all brushed off by the local authorities with excuses so thin, they barely qualified as paperwork. Family issues, unexpected move, job relocation, ran off with someone. Copy-paste explanations, but then came the video. A shaky TikTok uploaded by a local high schooler. 13 seconds long. Nothing fancy. Just a dim suburban street, recorded from a bedroom window. A narrow 2-story house. A quiet yard. And a man, tall, motionless, standing under the window of a neighbor's home at 3:12 a.m. Staring upward, not blinking, not shifting, not breathing. The teen's voice whispered behind the camera, "He's been here for the 3rd night. He doesn't move." 2 days later, the man living in that house vanished. That was when Harris drove to Harrogate. The town felt wrong the moment he arrived. Not dangerous, just muted. Like a photograph where someone turned the saturation down. The gas station cashier avoided eye contact. The motel owner insisted all the rooms were full, even though Harris saw vacant windows. Conversations stopped when he walked by, and people watched him with the dull, exhausted gaze of those who hadn't slept well in years. His briefing led him to the East Ridge district, the same neighborhood where all disappearances occurred. A narrow row of houses, each nearly identical, built in the late 70s. A place that should have felt nostalgic. Instead, the air felt thick, heavy. Too still for February. He visited the house from a viral video. Nothing unusual at first. Tidy yard, locked door, no forced entry. But inside, the air smelled metallic, almost burnt. The living room was spotless, unnaturally clean, like someone scrubbed every surface. In the bedroom, the detective discovered a phone left on the bed. It had a single unsent message on the screen: "He came back tonight." Harris's stomach tightened. He checked the backyard. Snow still covered most of the ground, except for a perfect circle, about 2 meters wide, where the snow had melted to bare soil. Mud. And beneath the mud, something like char footprints approached the circle. None left it. The sheriff of Harrogate, Dennis Clark, was a tired-looking man with shaking hands and eyes that wandered. Every question Harris asked was met with long pauses and vague replies. "People move," Clark muttered. "Times are tough." 11 people don't move in identical patterns, Harris shot back. They vanish. No calls. No cards. No bodies. No traces. Are you even looking for them? "Some things," the sheriff said quietly, "are better left alone." It wasn't a warning. It sounded like a plea. Harris realized Clark wasn't lying because he didn't want to talk. He was lying because something in Harrogate terrified him into silence over the next week. Harris collected testimonies from the few residents willing to speak. A woman reported hearing slow, dragging footsteps outside her window every night between 2 and 3 a.m., but when she looked through the blinds, she never saw anyone. A single father claimed he heard someone whispering through the walls into his daughter's room, even though the house next door had been abandoned for years. An elderly man said he saw a shadow watching from behind the trees, even during daylight. When Harris pressed for details, the old man simply whispered, "He waits for those who stand alone." March brought the 12th disappearance, Sarah Coleman, 28, a nurse who worked night shifts. Her smartwatch data showed she stopped moving at exactly 3:11 a.m. Home cameras cut out at 3:09. When Harris checked the recording, he saw it, blurry, distorted, but unmistakable, a tall figure standing in her backyard, facing the house, arms hanging unnaturally straight, head tilted slightly to the side, and then the lights flickered. And the figure was gone. Sarah's back door was unlocked. No signs of struggle. Footprints led into the forest and ended in another circle. Harris was no stranger to ritualistic patterns. He recognized the symbols burned into the soil. They resembled ancient boundary signs from Native American tribes, but altered, corrupted, as if twisted into a new meaning. Local archives told no clear story. But a forgotten newspaper from 1952 contained a chilling headline, 15 gone in East Ridge. Authorities baffled. Below, a line caught Harris's eye. Locals whisper about the watcher in the pines, the one who comes when the town needs to be cleansed. A cult, not a modern one. An old 1.1 Harrogate inherited like a disease. The deeper Harris dug, the more resistance he encountered. The town council refused access to property records. Residents stopped answering the door. The sheriff warned him against disturbing traditions. Traditions? What traditions? One night, Harris checked into a house near the edge of the forest to conduct surveillance. He set up motion cameras, thermal scanners, drones, everything state dash of dash the Dashart AT258 AM. The drones picked up movement near the treeline. A figure tall, inhumanly still, the thermal. Camera showed nothing, no heat signature. The figure stepped forward, another step, another light. Glinted off something metallic in its hand. A mask. Not a ceremonial one, homemade wood and iron carved with exaggerated hollow eyes. The same mask described in the 1952 reports. And then Harris realized something far worse. There wasn't one figure in the forest. His scanner showed 8 dots surrounding the house, all perfectly still, watching, waiting. The next seconds were chaos, drones losing signal, motion alarms blaring, windows trembling as if pressed by unseen hands. Harris grabbed his gun and flashlight. Backing toward the door. A whisper slid through. The wall behind him, not a voice, a dozen voices blending. Together, do not interfere. Harris kicked open the back door and ran toward the SUV. The forest was alive with movement, shadows shifting between trees, masks glinting faintly. One of them stepped into the open and spoke. A low, calm, almost gentle male voice. This town survives because we do what must be done. Harris aimed his gun. Where are the missing people? Given, the figure replied. Returned. The watcher keeps the balance. Outsiders don't understand. Show me where they are. We cannot. He does not like to be seen. Leave, detective. Harrogate is not for you. Harris fired a warning shot into the ground. The figure didn't flinch, and then the forest went silent. Completely, horrifyingly silent. The masked people stepped back, disappearing between the trees as if swallowed. The following morning, Harris found his car tire slashed, his motel room ransacked, and a single note pinned to the windshield. Some towns protect themselves. When he returned to the police station, the sheriff had already filed a report stating that Harris had completed his investigation and found no ongoing threat. Harris never filed that report. Someone else did. Someone with access, someone who wanted him gone. He packed his equipment, got a rental car, and left Harrogate, but not before one last look at East Ridge. At the end of the street, near the forest line, a tall figure stood completely still, watching him go. Not the masked man, not a cultist, something else. Its silhouette was wrong, too thin, too tall, limbs just slightly too long, and its head tilted the same way as in every recorded sighting. As if studying him. Harris blinked, and it vanished. He filed a full federal report, but most of it was classified within hours. Access denied. Sections redacted. Evidence erased from servers. Harrogate continued living quietly, calmly, peacefully, and the disappearances stopped. Until September 2025, when a new video surfaced online. A blurry clip of a backyard. A house window glowing faintly, and a tall, still silhouette standing beneath it. Watching. Waiting. Just like before, the caption read, "Who is this man in Harrogate? He's been here for 3 nights straight." And then the comments. House owner missing. Another one gone. Don't go. Outside. Harris closed the video. He already knew Harrogate wasn't. Finished.it was only resting, waiting for the next name on its list, and in 2025, that list keeps growing.